there's no pressure
for you
to run a marathon.
But I do still feel the pressure. It's almost like I should be running London in a few weeks' time.
Why?
Because of you.
Today we're going to talk about how I am part of the problem when it comes to motivation to run a marathon. And not just for him, but for you as well. And I think this is going to be a divisive video. I'm a 2:25 marathon runner and I have a big goal of making it to the LA Olympics in 2028. But throughout this whole journey, through every marathon, every race, every up and every down, one thing has remained the same, and it's this guy. My husband, videographer, my business partner, my private chef, partner in crime, and for the past few months, we have been dropping hints about him training towards his very first marathon. And today, we are happy to announce he isn't going to do one. Not yet, anyway. Daniel really wanted to run a marathon this year, and for a while, London was looking pretty promising, but there's been some serious spanners in the works for him recently, which has meant a debut marathon just isn't a good idea. Which got us thinking about the weird pressure it feels like there is right now, that if you're a runner, you need to be running marathons, which just isn't the case. You really don't need to run a marathon. In fact, you shouldn't. So the plan was to have a nice civilized sit-down chat about this.
Yeah.
But we have no chairs and our home situation is quite uncivilized right now.
So uncivilized.
This is our bedroom, by the way.
Yeah.
Looking
this
good.
is the boudoir. What does boudoir mean?
No idea.
Is it like a sexy bedroom?
Yeah, boy.
Or is it just French for bedroom? Anyway, so there's a bit of improvisation needed today, and instead of sitting down and chatting, we thought we would multitask at the same time. The skirting boards on this room are coming up. They've got to be off by the end of this video, okay? That's the deadline.
Okay, this room or the whole house?
Well, let's start with this room.
Okay.
We can work our way around the other upstairs rooms as a bonus if we get there. But more importantly than skirting boards, it's time, Daniel, to talk about the elephant in the room, your non-existent marathon career.
Look how big that is.
That's what she said.
So why don't we rewind and like give everyone a bit of a whistle-stop tour backstory of like your running journey.
Cool, yeah. When I started running for real, we just moved to Manchester. Phily started to coach me properly. You'd sign me up for a half marathon without me knowing, which was good fun. And I think the training for that went reasonably well. I got up to probably 11 miles. Long run type thing. I was enjoying myself. I got past that beginner barrier where like I could, go out for an easy hour run and it just felt, I don't know if it felt easy, but it just felt normal.
You got into quite a good groove with it, didn't you? I don't know, you weren't as motivated to go for the shorter runs because you were like, oh, I can't see as much.
Yeah, the kind of the 40-minute to an hour runs, I was like, oh, this is kind of boring. Whereas for the long runs, you can kind of, it's like an event. It's like a challenge almost, which I much preferred to the kind of easy, boring runs.
And then I guess, speaking of challenges, you decided it would be a great idea to promise your subscribers on your YouTube channel that once you get to, is it 10,000 subs?
Yep.
Or 1,000 likes on...
No, it's 10,000 subs.
10,000 subs that you would run a marathon.
That happened quite quickly. I didn't expect it to be that quick. So I said, I'll do a half marathon and I'll see how that goes. And then we'll talk about maybe a marathon the year after, which was 2024, I believe. Yeah, that was a long time ago.
And we were sort of teasing about you running a marathon this spring.
Yeah, I even said it on my channel when I kind of got back to making a couple of videos of my training. I said I was training for a marathon, which at the time I didn't have a place for a marathon, but I was like, it's the season. Luckily, we have a lot of good contacts to get me into marathons, so I wasn't too worried about that. And then I got injured.
But like, I've said this to you so many times. Yes, you promised the subscribers that you do the marathon and stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like you wanted to deliver on that, but no one would hold it against you if you didn't. Like, there's no pressure
but I still
for you to run the marathon.
But I do still feel the pressure. It's almost like I should be running London in a few weeks' time.
Why?
Because of you.
What?
Because you're the one that runs marathons, and I don't know, it's so weird. I don't know if anyone else out there has a partner who runs marathons, but you kind of like,
Okay, whether it's a partner who runs marathons or people you run on social media, I'm gonna say this once to you and to you. You do not need to be running a marathon. You can run literally as far or not as far as you want. Should we take some more skirting boards off?
Let's do it.
Now, I know Daniel said that he feels like the pressure is because of me. And yes, he is living with me, editing my videos, going through the marathon blocks with me. But I feel like social media as a whole at the moment has a big role to play in making every runner feel like they have to be running marathons. And if they're not a runner. Well, as a professional marathon runner who also creates content on social media, I'm here to tell you that that is bullshit. The thing with social media is it's not real life. And that doesn't mean that people are lying, but it is a curated highlights reel of what some people are doing for your consumption. And I feel like you have to remember that, because whilst it may seem like everyone is running marathons, consider that less than 1% of the global population will ever run a marathon in their lifetime. How many people consider themselves runners that will never run a marathon? A lot more people than the ones running marathons. Now, I'm obviously biased. I think the marathon is a fantastic event. It's an amazing experience. It's an incredible achievement, but that doesn't mean that everyone needs to run one. In fact, I would go as far as to say this. If you are a runner who has not run a marathon so far, you're kind of intimidated by the distance, you don't think you're ready for it, and the only reason you're considering doing it is because it seems like the done thing that everyone is doing, do not do it, okay? You should not be running marathons. Please don't do it, because that is how you turn yourself off from running in general. You go into a marathon before you're ready, when you don't really want to do it, you haven't got the right reasons in front of you, you're probably not going to have a good time. You might also get injured and decide that actually you kind of resent running and don't want to do it anymore. And that's a bad thing for everyone involved. And whilst I might be part of the problem because I am a marathon runner creating content about marathons, I never want anyone to feel pressured into doing it because of what I create. Because although I'm on that side of the fence, I also feel the pressure from social media too, and I get it. When all you see is people racing, people sharing their achievements, people going further, people going faster, that can come with sometimes that feeling of peer pressure that you need to be doing the same and you need to be being more extreme with your training and with your methods. And in my experience anyway, that normally comes with overdoing it a little bit. And you are far better coming out of the oven a little bit underdone, but having the energy to do more than overtraining, underfueling, under-recovering, under-enjoying yourself. And for what? To follow the crowd? Daniel would much rather be sat here talking to you about his marathon taper, London Marathon coming up next week, and how excited he is about it and how scary it will be, but only because that would be a really cool video to make and a cool video for you to watch, not because he's actually excited about doing it. And I could be wrong.
Well, they can hear it from me directly because it's my time to talk.
Fine.
And Phily touched on the social media aspect of marathon running these days. And as much as I can't compare myself to my partner because she's a ridiculous elite athlete, I am so into the running world on my Instagram feeds, my TikTok. All I see is kind of breaking 4 or breaking 3 or 3.5 or whatever it happens to be. As much as on a day-to-day basis, I don't think about that kind of pressure. I don't say, oh, I need to run a certain time to feel accepted by the Instagram community. It's definitely subconsciously there that the number that you come out with after a marathon seems to be quite important. So as much as I don't see that as my one of the biggest driving forces of giving up on my kind of potential marathon, it's definitely something at the back of my mind. And I'm gonna go see if Phily has finished her call because she's gonna show you what distance you should be running. Marathon, 5K, 10K, she's gonna tell you which one you should do. Let's go find her.
Now, there is a myth that is kind of widely accepted these days that the natural progression is that once you've run a 5K, you might as well do a 10K. And once you've raced a 10K, you might as well do a half marathon. Once you've done a half marathon, you might as well do a marathon. And there are some extremely deranged people out there that think it goes even further. And those people are very brave. But that does not need to be the case. Because if you like doing 5Ks, but actually 10Ks aren't enjoyable, like it is, going to a half and a full marathon, it's not gonna bring it back and make it fun again. You can just do 5Ks. We should make 5Ks cool again, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
Petition, make 5Ks cool again. And that's where Master Mile comes in. These are the questions that you are going to ask yourself to figure out what you actually want to do. So I'm going to write these in first person, but humour me, I'm asking you the questions, okay?
Me?
Yeah, but this is for them and for you, okay? So I'm writing them in the way that they need to ask themselves, but this is also about you, because you've got some issues that we need to work through. We're going to get there. I promise. And if we don't, you don't get the prize. It's not a threat, it's conditional.
I want the prize.
So question number 1.
Hat.
No, you have to say.
Oh. What? What distance do I enjoy most? I've done a 5K, I've done a 10K, and I've done a half marathon.
And which one did you enjoy the most?
Half marathon.
Okay, interesting. You're almost making a case for yourself running a marathon now.
No, it's half.
Yeah, no, but you've never done a marathon, so how would you know? If you double the distance, you might double the fun.
Yeah, but I've been told that a marathon is like 4 times as hard as a half marathon, and a half marathon is hard.
It's up for debate. Noted.
Winning.
The idea is that that's meant to be a clue. If the distance you enjoy the most tends to be a mile, maybe 26.2 of them with no recovery is not going to be as fun. It's just a theory. Question number 2.
What type of training suits my lifestyle?
You have some knowledge of what training for different races looks like. You've seen me train for a marathon. Obviously, how you would train for a marathon would be slightly different.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
My schedule is all over the place. Structure is something that I find really hard.
So consistency is not going to be...
Always there. I have limited time because when you go for a long run, especially when you're in a marathon block, I come with you, and therefore spending 2 hours in the morning outside and
On the bike
or in the car, and then coming back, kind of recovering from that myself, and then going out for another long run.
So less time on feet is going to be
yeah.
preferable.
Yeah.
And then there's the cat.
The cats.
If your time is limited, something that's a little bit easier to fit in and move around that doesn't involve 3-hour long runs.
Yeah.
It's going to be bueno. Question number 3. What makes me want to run?
For me, it's staying fit and healthy. As we well know, time, not interested.
Not motivated by performance.
Yes, I'm not motivated by performance. I enjoy getting better. I enjoy being able to go for a longer run than I've ever run before or feel better at a certain pace, but the time, I don't care.
Yeah, and that doesn't really place you into any kind of distance at all. Yeah. But lining this up with your previous answers, if you'd have said, I just love getting lost on a long run that takes 2+ hours, then actually the marathon might go hand in hand. However, that's not where you're at. And at the moment, with the time constraints you've got, plus what motivates you, probably lining up more with 5K to 10K. At the moment, although you did say the half marathon was the one you enjoyed the most.
Yeah.
Racing experience is limited.
I was going to say, I've only done one 10K a long time ago, and the 5Ks have been park runs.
I mean, 5Ks are brutal though.
Yeah, I hate a 5K.
Question number 4.
How robust am I?
That wasn't very good lip syncing.
What does that mean?
If I were to ask you to go and run 20K right now, how do you feel? What would be your concerns?
Aerobically not fit and probably not strong enough, and I'd probably come off the back of that either injured or feeling so bad that I'd have to take a week off running or something.
So even if you really, really want to run a marathon and train for a marathon right now, you're not ready.
No.
You have to build up the robustness to be able to take on the training, because that's not even really scratching the surface with marathon training. That's half marathon long run. You need to be realistic with yourself about how healthy you are in terms of how far away from your last injury are you? How robust is your strength setup? How do you bounce back after long runs? How able are you to handle the training, the volume that comes with a marathon is going to entail?
So how robust am I?
Not.
Not at all.
Final question. What excites me?
Pokemon, F1, food, Greek food especially, holidays.
Running. In a running context, what excites you?
The gels, the chews, what excites me about what it does for my mental health. I think being able to go out for a run and come back, start the day or finish the day with a run.
Get those endorphins flowing.
Yeah, getting those endorphins flowing. There's what?
Yeah, the dolphins.
The dolphins. Did I pass?
You did pass.
Yes.
And I just want to explain to all of our loyal followers that these answers are meant to shed light on the direction you go in. There is no right or wrong answer. Daniel could could train for a marathon off the back of those answers in about 6 months' time, if you so felt inclined.
During your next marathon block?
Yeah, but that's irrelevant context. This is hypothetical.
Okay.
If you could build up the robustness,
yeah,
and you felt that you were gravitating towards enjoying and being excited by those long runs with all of those gels and sweets afterwards, yeah, that's fine. But I think it's just important to ask yourself those questions to bring yourself back to reality, rather than having watched someone's flashy video of them finishing a marathon and you wanting to get that selfie video of you getting a marathon medal hung around your neck, because it's kind of superficial. Yeah, it might not be the right thing for you. But you did win. There was no losing really, because there were no wrong answers. But well done. I'm gonna get you your prize. We have got ourselves a goodie bag.
Goodie bag.
Now the condition this comes with, since it's running kit.
Yep, I can sit and watch TV all afternoon.
No, you have to try it out for a run. We're gonna go for a run after
Really?
this. Yes. Close your eyes.
Yep.
Item numero uno.
Ooh.
Shorts.
Shorts. These are my shorts. My Lululemon shorts.
What kind of shorts are they?
They are the Pacebreaker Shorts 7-inch.
Lined.
Lined. Yes. They've got a phone pocket. Yeah.
Nice.
That's what I need.
Phone pocket, and so you've got one of those each side on each leg. There's a outer pocket there.
Outer pocket there.
Outer pocket there.
And a mini pocket.
And it's not even mini, it's a big pocket.
Whoa.
Whoa.
You could probably fit your phone in there.
You could fit a couple of gels in there as well.
5 pockets.
Thank you, Lululemon.
Eyes closed. We have a high ticket item.
Ooh, we like those. There's my favourites.
I feel like you've won a raffle or something.
Ooh. Oh, this is a jacket. My favourite colour. We have...
So adventurous.
So adventurous. We have the Fast and Free packable jacket.
So when you wear this, you are both fast and free.
And packable. Ooh, this is nice. All right, on to the next.
I think you're going to love this one.
Go on.
This is one of my favourites.
Whoa! I don't know if you can tell.
It's a leopard print.
That is really cool. Look at the print.
But it's only created from the holes?
From the
like the
perforations.
Yeah.
This is a Metal Vent Tech relaxed fit short sleeve. We will put all the links to these in the description. So for all you men who think Lululemon is not for you, this is literally the best stuff. That's
Finally.
Finally?
Finally.
What?
Sorry. This is quite a good prize.
Sorry, don't apologise. This is great.
Okay, here you go.
Ooh.
Metal Vent Tech long sleeve. This is like the men's version of the Swiftly. You know the long sleeves that I wear all the time?
Nice.
The men's ones are called Metal Vent, because they have to have manly names. Metal Vent Tech.
Metal Vent Tech.
Whereas ours are Swiftly.
No, new kit isn't essential, but I do feel pretty motivated to go for a run right now.
Well. What do we have here? We're going for a run together.
What?
I feel violently unwell. What pace are we running, Daniel?
Currently 9:10 pace, so too quick for me.
Okay, all right, slow down. We're doing it.
Yep, we are.
When was the last time you went for a run, Daniel?
Doesn't actually sound that bad because it was like maybe 4 days ago.
Oh, light work.
But I haven't run consistently in probably a month, 2 months.
Was the run you did 4 days ago the first run you've done in?
I've done 2 runs since we moved, and they've both been 5 minutes on, 1 minute off.
Run walks.
Run walks.
And for the people watching committed to your running journey,
yes,
and having watched this video where I think we're both in agreement, you're not about to run a marathon.
No.
Where is running going next?
Well, I think I just want to get back to enjoying it. That's probably my first thing. And in general, I just want to be a little bit healthier and maybe lose a bit of weight, feel a bit stronger, feel like I'm not just going to get injured the next time I go for my run.
I think we've spoken a little bit about this recently, haven't we? That you kind of want to feel like you're looking after yourself again.
Yeah.
And right now, for where you're at, that involves moving a bit more, like thinking about what you're eating, thinking about how you want to feel and feeling good.
Yes, exactly.
Rather than the kind of instant gratification.
I'm gonna also try to get back to documenting that, and not only that, but like documenting a little bit more of kind of our lives at the moment, renovating a new house on my channel, which is Daniel Moves. Go subscribe to that now. It's gonna be a good, fun old time.
You might even see this ugly mug appearing a little bit more frequently on Daniel's channel as we go a little bit rogue and film some DIY content. The next video on this channel is going to be my first race in 238 days. So it's the exciting one. Hit that subscribe button. And what have we learned, Daniel?
That not everyone needs to run a marathon.
Don't do it. Don't do it, guys. I'm gonna let you go and do a lap whilst I say farewell. Obviously, like I said at the start, I am biased. I think the marathon is an incredible distance. It is an incredible achievement, and this isn't to take away from that at all. I just think that if people are signing up for marathons because they feel like they have to, because they feel like everyone else is, but not because it's actually what's right for them, it's not what's going to keep you running long term. It's not going to make you feel good. Whether you're running marathons or not, make sure that you're loving the grind. Like this guy, look at him go. He's like a gazelle